Good morning student. Hope that all are fine at home. Today I am going to start chapter number 1, that is the transport in plants. So in this chapter we will discuss about the transportation in plants or the plant vascular system. So absorption of water and minerals in plants are happen due to the presence of three processes. One is diffusion, second one is osmosis, and third one is the active transportation. So what is diffusion? The diffusion is the movement of particle from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Means where the concentration is high, the molecules of the higher concentration move towards the molecules of the lower concentration until they eventually distributed among the lower concentration. In the process of diffusion, no energy is required. So diffusion happen directly from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. And then the third function of the diffusion is to transport carbon dioxide, oxygen, water, food and waste materials such as urea. Diffusion can be happen in plants as well as in the animal cells, especially the unicellular animals. Next is the process of osmosis. Osmosis and diffusion is generally same, only one difference is the presence of the semi-permeable membrane. So diffusion of particles from higher concentration to the lower concentration in the presence of the semi-permeable membrane. What is the semi-permeable membrane? It is a thin membrane which allow only particular particles to pass through them, such as allow only water molecules to pass through them. So diffusion and osmosis are same, and they also do not require energy, but osmosis happen in the presence of the semi-permeable membrane, and mostly through the osmosis water is transported to the different body cells, in the plant cells as well as in the animal cell. Then third one is the active transport. The active transport is the movement of substance from the lower concentration to the higher concentration. So active transport is opposite to the diffusion and the osmosis. In diffusion and osmosis, molecules or the particles move from higher concentration to lower concentration, but in active transport, movement of substance from lower concentration to the higher concentration. So for this process, they need the energy, and generally minerals in plants from roots are transported through the process of active transport. For active transport, we need energy, and that energy can be given by the active carriers such as the protein carriers. So from the book we will discuss diffusion. Plants absorb some dissolved mineral passively, means directly without using the energy to the roots. So generally water and minerals are transported through the process of diffusion. In the next video, I will show the activities also so you can understand properly. Diffusion can be occur in solid, liquid and gases. Then the process of diffusion also help in the gaseous exchange. So we have already discussed then that diffusion help in the transportation of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So help in the exchange of gases also, and release of water vapor through the stomata. Then osmosis. Root have small root hairs. You have seen the root, you can see the small hair-like structure. They absorb water from the soil, and each root produces numerous root hairs as outgrowth of epilemma. So what is the epilemma? It is the outer skin of the root. Epilemma is the outer skin of the root, and they generally resemble the structure of the unicellular plant cells. They have the fine tubes and lie in close contact with the water, and the plasma membrane of the root hair is selectively permeable or the semi-permeable, which I already teach you. That semi-permeable membrane is the membrane which allows selective particles to move through them. So in this root hair, the semi-permeable membrane allow only the water molecules to pass through them. It let in water molecule from the soil with the process of the osmosis. In osmosis, water moves across a semi-permeable membrane without the use of energy. So no energy is required in the process of the osmosis. And in osmosis, the molecules or the particles move from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. And in the diagram you can see this is a structure of the complex permanent tissue, phloem and the xylem. Phloem help in the transportation of food and xylem help in the transportation of the water and the minerals. Xylem present in the inside of the stem, whereas the phloem present in the outer layer of the stem, means outside the structure of the xylem, means outside the xylem tissues. And these are the thin film of water and these are the root hair. So in the presence of the semi-permeable membrane, it allows only water molecules to pass through them and reaches to the xylem. From xylem it is transported to the different part of the plant cells. Now we will discuss as the concentration of water molecule in soil is higher than in the root hair, because water molecules are more outside as compared to the inside. So water passes from the soil into the root hair and the water then passes further and further into the root tissue by cell to cell. From cell to cell it reaches to the xylem of the root, and from cell to cell through the process of osmosis only, means here the concentration of water is more, so it reaches to the root hair. Then here it is less, so water moves from the higher concentration of this cell to there. Same process is going until it reaches to the xylem tissues. The movement up of the xylem vessel reaches the leaves due to the pull creation by the transpiration. So transpiration we will discuss later on. So here is an activity that I will show in the next video. Now come to the next point. Now osmosis is seen in all organisms such as the unicellular, Chlamydomonas, Paramecium and amoeba. They generally found in the fresh water and they do not have a particular organs to take the water or the energy from outside. So they directly gain the water by the process of the osmosis. The cell exchange water from the surrounding continuously. The net intake of the loss of water depend on the concentration of the water molecule in the cytoplasm. So it is divided into three, that is the hypotonic, hypertonic and isotonic. So in the plant cells or the animal cells, especially we will discuss in the cytoplasm. So hypertonic solution, where the concentration of dilute sugar is more outside than the cell. So cell gains water through the osmosis because the higher concentration of water molecule is more in than the cytoplasm. So cytoplasm has less concentration of water and outside it is more, so it gains the water. So that process is known as the hypertonic solution. Then what is hypertonic? Hypertonic means the concentrated solution. In hypotonic, the dilute sugar solution is needed, but in the hypertonic, the concentrated means the pure form of the solution is there. So concentration of the solution is more inside than the outer side of the cytoplasm. So it releases the water and the cell shrinks. So that is known as the hypotonic solution. Then third to the isotonic, means in isotonic solution no change is there because the concentration is same as in the cytoplasm and outside. So hypotonic means the concentration of sugar solution is more outside than as compared to the cytoplasm. So cytoplasm gains the water molecules. In hypertonic, the concentration of solution is more as compared to the outer side of the cytoplasm. So the cell shrinks or loses the water. And in isotonic, no exchange because the particles are eventually already distributed, means the concentration of water molecule and cytoplasm is same only.